Hello lads, I would like to mention that in this lecture, I'm very ill, so you'll hear a lot of sniffling, coughing, and a lot of throat clearing and all that kind of stuff. It may sound extremely gross, and I am incredibly sorry for this. I've been sick with the flu, for about a week now, but I still wanted to record this and then get this out to you lads. So, yeah, enjoy the lecture.
Wanting this to be like an interactive discussion.
No, if you have a question, if everyone has a question,
okay.
you literally just jump in. I don't have a problem with you just jumping in. But yeah, if you got a question, go ahead. But yeah, it's that thing of, when you actually speak to a girl, she's probably spoken to loads of guys who are fucking awkward at speaking, right? Because, she's probably going to speak to a shit ton of guys in her lifetime compared to a guy who speaks to a lot of girls. Most of the time, most guys don't speak to a lot of girls. And sadly, they might speak to a few amount of girls compared to guys. And that's the sad reality of the world, right? So when you are speaking to a girl, you want to actually impress her. You actually want to be confident in speaking to her. And when it comes to, and the reason why I keep bringing up this whole idea of small talk, look, I fucking hate it. Everyone fucking hates it. No one likes small talk. It's the most awkward thing ever. You have to break the ice. You have to fucking I call it bitch in your blood. You know? It's that feeling of, I don't want to do this. I'm going to stay quiet. I'm not going to say anything because it's really fucking awkward. No, don't do that. Introduce yourself. Or just start saying how's your day? You having a good day today? That sort of thing. Because once you actually practice that skill and you're able to speak more confidently, because you are going to speak more confidently. I've seen it myself. I now ask everyone how their day is going. My parents, my brothers, people at work, people who work in shops, just, when I'm being served or something like that. Here's a story. I went to a gig, right? I barely knew people there. I wasn't expecting anything whatsoever. I went there without any knowledge of who the people were. I only knew one or two people there. And I remember going into the pub where the gig was being held, and I felt scared. I was feeling chills up my spine and feeling that, holy shit, I'm gonna have to actually start being talking to people, right? However, the more and more I kept pushing myself in, I was able to introduce myself to loads of people. I was able to have so much fun. Yeah.
Did you get into a social flow state to where whenever you didn't even think about the conversations, whereas before you had that anxious feeling in the back of your mind?
Yeah. No, literally. I pretty much
you broke the ice, and then once you broke the ice, every other conversation was easier.
Yeah, it was. It was this idea of, it was at first, it was fucking daunting. I was holy shit. I didn't prepare myself properly. I remember the bike ride over there, on the way there, I was holy shit, I actually don't know these people. Oh my god, I'm gonna feel like shit. But the more and more I kept going there, and once I actually went into the pub and spoke to a person that I barely knew, that all went away. And throughout then, I was able to have genuine conversations with anyone. Pretty much. And I was able to actually open up my character a lot more. In fact, because I did this, because I was able to speak to loads of people, because I was having so much fucking fun at the concert. Hell, one girl was getting harassed by a guy in a mosh pit. She was actually getting sexually harassed by a guy. She picked me to protect her from him, and I exactly did that. And the reason why was because I had a great vibe to me. The way I spoke to her previously, for some reason, she chose me to be her protector. Or because I was speaking to her nicely, I was able to speak to her more confidently. Because of these, small talks I was able to, practice all the time on the daily. And also, because I spoke to so many people were interested in me. People were asking me, did I go to uni? Did I do this and that? I even got invited to go to some random dude's house. So like,
So basically, that's the initial small talk turned into a deeper conversation.
exactly, yes.
And that's like the goal for the social interactions you have.
Exactly. And I feel
There's
like, sorry, continue?
I feel like the small talk doesn't really add much value to your day. It's more of like a intro to the more deeper talking.
Yeah, think of it as an entry to something much greater. You want to use small talk as a way to pretty much open your doors to more opportunities, essentially. And that's exactly what I did. I went to this gig not knowing a lot of people, now knowing a shit ton of people, now being able to speak to a lot of people, and going to some random dude's house to drink some more alcohol, and just talking random bullshit before I went home and went to sleep. And I feel as if a lot of young people in this Discord, whenever they ask, how do I speak to girls, think there are cheat codes to this shit. Think that once they learn this one specific skill, they can speak to girls like it's nothing. No.
People think that girls are just like this subspecies and they're not humans.
That's
like half of them can't even do 5 pull-ups.
That's another
Don't be
thing.
scared of them women.
Yeah, literally, they're just fucking girls. They're literally human beings with a vagina and a pair of tits. That's how I always describe them. They are literally you, but the opposite sex. They probably feel anxious speaking to you. Because I think a lot of guys don't really think about this in a way of socialization, that they probably feel more anxious speaking to you than you probably do. It's kind of like that thing of, you know, the animal that you're scared of is actually scared of you as well. Yeah. So, don't treat girls, that's another thing I really want a lot of young people to understand. Stop treating girls like they're these subspecies, because they're fucking not. That's pretty fucking appalling that you actually treat them completely different than to, let's say, your mum, right?
I think it's because we are raised in a way to think that the women are this prize and we need to be the Prince Charming, and they're like given more inherent value than guys.
Yeah.
In culture. Does that make sense?
That does make sense, yeah.
All the Disney princesses and shit.
We do live in a society where women are now being put on a pedestal, and that women are turning into men, and men are turning into women, which is not what we want. And I feel like, because back in the day, women would be asking the same question, how do I speak to a boy? You know? Hold on. So it's this thing of, I feel like a lot of young men who grew up to, you know, in the classroom, you're being told you need to respect women, you need to treat them with kindness, you need to, whatever the fuck they said, you know, just fucking erase that from your mind, because that's bullshit, alright? Because if you try and treat them like they're like queens, essentially, they're gonna hate that. Maybe some will like it, you know, because they like that ego boost, but most of them will hate that. They will see you as someone who's easy, you know?
Turn off.
Yeah, it's a turn off. Like, it's just fucking weird, right? So, when it comes to that sort of thing, when it comes to socialization with women, you want to actually treat them as if they're like your friends, like your parents, like your family, and everything, because they are just human beings at the end of the fucking day. They're no different to you, who you are. Again, they're literally just a human being with a fucking vagina and pair of tits. They're nothing more, nothing less. And you need to start to actually practice socializing with other people if you want the ability to actually speak to a girl. Because I feel like a lot of young men are just finding it so rough to actually speak to a girl. I found it very rough. I remember times where I'd freeze up and just speak very slowly. My voice would crackle and everything, because I was like, oh my god, I'm so scared. Oh, I don't want to.
Lack of eye contact.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Around the room,
that's another thing. There are videos out there where you practice how to fucking look at a person in the eyes. I find that so dumb. Right? I find that so dumb because I feel like why would you practice that on YouTube when you could just go out in the real world and actually practice it for yourself? You know? This is why I'm talking about small talk, because small talk's fucking perfect for this shit. Because it's kind of like going to the gym and practicing things in small intervals. Sure, it didn't feel like anything, but over in the long run, it'll build up to something, you know? And that's why I absolutely hate when I find it that people are just constantly trying to find cheat codes to this shit. They're like, oh, you know, I really want to talk to her, you know, but I'm scared. What if she doesn't like me? What if she's like, bro, when you say, are you having a good day to the fucking person, to the cashier, they might say, I'm not having a good day, you know? Because not every one of them are going to say, I'm having a good day. They might say, to be honest, mate, I'm having a shit day. I've had a few customers saying, oh, I'm having a hangover, oh, I'm not doing well. And you know what I did? I would be sympathetic. And that's another thing I want to teach you guys. Sympathy and empathy. Because if you can master these two things, holy shit, your life will get a lot better when it comes to socializing with people. Alright? Sympathy is the act of feeling sorry for someone. And empathy is the act of feeling sorry for someone because you understand that situation. So for an example, right? Let's say someone, I don't know, lost a football match and they feel pretty bummed out about it. I will feel sorry for them because it meant something so much to them. However, I do not have that experience of losing in that certain field. So therefore, I can't really empathize with them. But let's say, you know, someone hurt themselves. You know, they went to the gym and they're going through DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, right? And they're like, oh my god, man, the pain's so fucking horrible. I feel like I can't even stretch out my arms at all, bro. Like, what the fuck? And I'll be like, yeah, I know, man. I've been through the same pain. There are times where I try and stretch out my arms and it feels like that as well. That's empathy. I've been through the same exact situation as he has, DOMS. And I feel like all of you guys who go to the gym understand what DOMS is and how it feels. Oh, yeah, and you can all relate to me. You can all empathize with me right now.
Like, remember the first time I did biceps, my arms, like, I literally couldn't move them past a certain amount. Like,
exactly.
I couldn't fully extend them, and I looked like I was walking around fucking with my... I wish I could demonstrate it, but it was so bad.
Yeah. I mean...
I know exactly what you're talking about, Warren. So,
I mean, one thing that everyone always talks about is doing leg day. Everyone fucking hates leg day, but it's gotta be done. And they're like, bro, my legs feel like jelly. Because my legs feel like jelly when I do fucking leg day. And I fucking hate leg day, but I do it nonetheless. Right? And that's the thing. If you can actually master those two things, sympathy and empathy, holy shit, you'll do well in socialization. Because when it comes to human beings and socialization, if you can sympathize and empathize, you feel the person will feel like you understand them more.
People love being understood, yeah.
Exactly.
If you can help them with their problems and actually listen to them, be a good listener, then it's just a night and day versus
literally. For an example, right? So I speak to a lot of introverts who, like, my main friends are built up of introverts. So these are friends with certain mental illnesses, like depression and all that kind of stuff, right? And the problem I've seen is they get disregarded. They get brushed away. People are like, you know, when, for an example, when a girl or a random guy say, you know, I'm depressed, I'm thinking about killing myself. Society today is like, okay, bro, I don't fucking believe you. But for me, every time someone actually came to me and told me about their experiences, I would actually listen to them and actually hear them out and say, damn, man, I feel for you. I understand your pain. And I'm so sorry you're in that situation. And it actually makes them feel 10 times good. For an example, I had a Dutch friend who told me about how he wanted to sue his own dad because his dad pretty much abandoned him in his childhood. Now, see, sadly, fortunately, I grew up with a dad. My dad was there for me for my, 18 years of life. So, I can't empathize with him. But I can sympathize because it is a shitty thing for anyone to do. And I stayed up with him as well. I wanted to go to bed, to go to school the next day. I stayed up with him to sympathize with him and make him feel better about his situation because he felt like he was the one in the wrong. But he wasn't. He was the one who was wronged. And I made sure that he understood that. So if you're able to actually be able to master those two skills, holy shit, people will love you. People will revere you as a messiah. Because the amount of people who can actually sympathize and empathize is dangerously low. I've got so many friends who can't fucking do that shit. At all. Like, it is autistically, dangerously close to that level. Because I've got so many, and the reason why I say autistically is because I had an autistic friend who legit could not connect with people in emotional ways. And the fact that I see normal people doing this shit is fucking mind-blowing. Because, like, how the fuck are you going to expect to speak to a girl? Because when you speak to a girl, right, let's say she brings up a random thing that's happened in her life, in her family life, and you can't actually connect with her. She's going to feel like you're not emotionally connected to her. And then she's going to, and women are fucking socially smart. So they're going to fucking think of random bullshit in their head. This means that means that, connecting the dots kind of thing. All because you didn't show care whatsoever. And I feel like a lot of men are a bit too stoic these days because of that. So, I want you all to actually just master the ability to sympathize and empathize with people so that once you do this, you can then be revered as like some sort of messiah. Because people love people who can relate to them, who can feel sorry for them, people who, a shoulder to cry on, or something like that. And it can help you in these social situations with a girl, like let's say you're on a date or something, because if she brings up just a little tiny thing, you can say, oh my god, I'm so sorry about that. The world's a bit fucked up, many girls bring up so much shit that I don't care about. They talk about how, something like global warming or, just bullshit things I genuinely do not give a shit, politics and all that kind of stuff, They say, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening, man. It's so sad. I'm like, yeah, I know, man. That's really hard to hear. She will feel like you're a genuine human being and she will like you. I'm gonna have to, bro, 042T. Can you guys all hear the same guy breathing really hard?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. I had to mute him for a bit, but I thought it was unfair because he could be. Okay, he's muted. All right, sorry. Just a little bit of a warning. But yeah. So that's the sympathizing and empathizing bit done, right? And the small talk is done as well. Another thing that I hear a lot of people say, and that you should be doing, and a lot of people, even Hamza has brought this up, which I find a little bit weird, is this idea that you need game, or you need you need strategies or something like that. And tons of my friends have come up with weird strategies to get girls' numbers or get with a girl or something like that. And here's what I'm gonna say. To some extent, these are all just ways to manipulate a person. And whether you want to do that or not is really up to you. Apparently, the way I speak to people is manipulation, and maybe it is, maybe it's not. I personally just feel like that's just how I talk to people. and people like me because I'm a genuine person. But I don't think things like game or cold approaching is a way to help you, because cold approaching just means you don't want to fucking do it. In reality. When I'm talking about small talk, I'm trying to get you to do it, to actually enjoy small talk. Because if you actually genuinely enjoy small talk, that shows. It shows when you actually speak to someone and do small talk. Then let's say cold approaching, I feel as though you're only doing it for this one benefit, and that is to just get better at speaking. Maybe if you are a genuine introvert who can't speak to people properly, I can see why cold approaching could work for you. But if you're someone who's an extrovert, you know, someone with a few friends, someone who could speak to people normally, then I feel like cold approaching would never work for you. Because it feels like that advice of just ask 100 girls and one of them fucking has to like you. And I feel like that's just quantity over quality. What I want to teach people is to actually have genuine quality conversations with people, instead of this idea of just doing cold approaching. Because I feel like that's just, there's no quality in that. You're just saying the same things over and over again, just so you can build up some confidence to be able to speak to people, when you could actually build up your quality of the way you speak to people. And once you actually build up the quality of speaking to people, people will see you as a quality person, as a high value person, maybe. Because I remember in that gig that I went to, so many people kept saying, "You've got a good vibe to you, Warren." And some people hugged me. Some people shook my hand. You know, they said, "Oh, Warren, we definitely need to hang out again. Add me on Instagram," and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I told them I barely fucking use Instagram or any social medias, but you get the point. When you are more quality in speaking to people, when you're more high value in terms of speaking to people, people will fucking notice that. People can notice. You know? When I do these small talks, my body language, my face, my tone of voice, my everything is all like good vibes, essentially, to these people. Cold approaching, it feels cold. I mean, that is literally what it is. You're just straight up being blunt with these people, and just straight up going like, "Oh, can I get the time?" And just like, I don't know, I feel like it's a bit of a waste of time, because if you're doing shit like this, it doesn't really build up on anything. You're just doing it for the sake of trying to be able to speak to people, when you could have quality conversations with people, and then what, you know, your body language, your tone of voice, your emotions and everything will give off that good energy to these people. You know? There are many times I've spoken to girls in a normal way. I didn't even mean to try and flirt with them or anything. Right? I speak to these girls and they try and flirt with me. And to be honest, I'm a bit of a dumbass when it comes to flirting, because I genuinely, I'm not interested in that at the moment. But like, imagine if you have that ability to be able to speak to them in such a confident way that they want to flirt with you. Right? That's fucking jackpot. You didn't have to do any of that game or manipulation or anything like that. Your quality of your character was able to speak more than your ability to just play mind games with these girls. And I feel like that's a lot better than trying to find these fucking strategies into speaking to these people. Because I feel like doing these strategies is, one, it's fucking mental straining. Then let's say talk to a person. When I talk to people, I'm genuinely having a fun time. I actually want to get to know these people. I want to know how their day is going. I actually genuinely want to have a good time with these people. And my character gives off that vibe to them, and they want to return that back to me. Then opposed to, let's say you're trying to play mind games, you know, you're constantly having to do so much work in your head. You're constantly trying to outweigh the outcomes of what if you say this, what if you say that, you know, and trying to make sure that you get your desirable outcomes, you know. And if it fails, you're like, fuck, man, that didn't work. Now I need to move on to the next strategy. Which I find it's a bit of a waste of time, because it's like, did you even enjoy that conversation? Because that's time out of your fucking day. At the end of the day as well. You're taking your time doing this just because you want to be able to speak to a girl when you could just build up your character, build up yourself to be a better person to be able to speak to these people.
You know, man, I was thinking about that, and in this period, I think that we are really self-centered, and when we speak to someone, we are really we're not that genuine. We are like materialistic with. Sorry if I don't speak good English, but
That's right, man.
We're kind of materialistic when we speak to someone, because we want just to speak for the sake of having a relation. Not it's not genuine. So if you have a small talk or a conversation, like you said, it's like stepping out of it. You can start having genuine relations with others. You know, I was thinking about that. I don't know if.
Okay, no,
If it has sense.
I understand you. Yeah. In terms of that materialisticness and all that kind of stuff, I feel like a lot of people, when they speak to people, they want to get the other person to like them, and you're putting a lot of effort in trying to manipulate them into liking you, and that's what Hamza is trying to teach you. And to be honest, it does work, you know. If you want to do it that way, you can, but like my way, I genuinely find my way to be better because you just kind of accidentally make friends. That's what I've been doing this whole time. I've just kind of been making friends without really trying. That's why, like, when, like, a lot of the times my friends are like, "Oh, Warren, how come you got this many friends? Oh, Warren, how come you could just speak to people with no problems?" It's because I go in without this idea of, I want this person to like me. You know, if you try your hardest to chase something, that thing's just going to get further away from you. So if you just do the exact opposite, the thing will chase you back. And I've kind of done that subconsciously. Whenever I speak to a person, I don't really have these thoughts of, I want these people to like me. I'm more like, I actually want to know this person. I want to get to know this person. I want to understand how they think. I want to really get to know their personality and everything. Because if you do...
Yeah, because if you force it, it might seem like you don't have anything to offer. Your personality is zero. You're just trying to push it to have that relation, right?
Yeah. No, definitely, and it fucking shows. Like I was talking about cold approaching and mind games and, you know, the game and all that kind of shit. People can understand that vibe you're trying to do. Your character says it all. People can fucking sense that shit. Not just women. You know, hold on, I need to cough. Sorry, I'm a bit ill. But people can sense that shit. I can sense that shit when someone's trying to be fake with me, and they're trying to, you know, they're talking to me and they're like, "Oh, Warren, I like you so much. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Warren, you're such a cool guy, and I want to be your friend, bro." And I'm like, that's a bit weird. I'm not gonna lie. You're a bit sketchy, you know? And my intuitions are correct at that because they're weird people. They're dangerous. They do weird things. And if you're trying to give off this personality of, I want you to fucking like me, it shows that you're a bit materialistic, like what Des has said, you know. And I feel like people like genuine characters. A lot of people love genuine characters. So I feel like if you give off that vibe of, this is who you are, that's the kind of person you are, they will actually appreciate you a lot more than just, I want you to like me because I want to have more power in this discussion, or something like that. And that's what I really hate. I really don't like fake people who are like that. And there are a lot of fake people in this world. There are loads of people who are trying to make you like them. I mean, you look at fucking influencers, for an example, on Instagram, when they're talking to children, when they're fucking talk to other people and all that kind of shit. They're just forcing you into trying to get them to like you. And it's like, I don't know, it's a bit fucked up that you have to force people to like you when you can just naturally do it. And the thing is, this thing is not hard. It's not that difficult. Yes, it will be difficult to build up the skill. It definitely will be difficult. I think for me, the reason why it was so easy was because I was kind of always pushed into these social situations when I was younger. But I do believe you can actually build up these skills and turn yourself into a much more high value person who's got an interesting character to them, who gives off a certain vibe off to these people. You know, body language, emotions, your tone of voice and everything. If you can give off everything that's positivity to these people, they will genuinely fucking like you. And the more and more you see that, the more success you'll see. And I feel like a lot of you guys need to be able to master this skill before you even attempt to try and talk to a girl in a way of trying to, you know, get her to be your girlfriend or anything like that. Because if you don't have the skill and you try and get, you know, try and talk to her, try and do all these mind games and everything, and then she outright rejects you, you know, you're gonna feel like shit. And I don't want you to feel like shit and feel like no matter what you do, you know, nothing fucking goes your way. If you genuinely build up a good character and genuinely show off that you're an actual interesting person, that, you know, someone actually wants to get to know you and everything, then that person will actually want to be with you. The reason why girls go out with guys most of the time, and I know a lot of people will say some shit like, you know, they're whores or whatever. Alright, I'm not talking about the fucking low value girls who just want to get dick down and all that kind of stuff, no. I'm talking about actual genuine high value girls who've got a life, who genuinely have a life, you know. They will get with you mainly because you're an interesting person to them. And they will actually, you know, look at you in your everyday, day-to-day interaction with other people as well. This is why I'm saying you should be able to master the skill, because girls do this shit. They're socially intelligent. They will look at your interactions with other people, how you treat other people, and they will try and see if you're a good fit for them or not. When I was going through, I think it was, high school, this one girl took a notice in me and spoke to me first because she said that I'm a funny person, I speak to people with such high respect, and that I genuinely have a genuine, interesting character of myself. I didn't speak to her, I didn't even know of her existence whatsoever, right? But because of the way I displayed my character throughout my day-to-day socialization, she was interested in me. And I want you guys to be able to master that skill, because once you master that skill, it is piss easy to be able to speak to a girl. You'll have the confidence to speak to a girl. You'll never ever feel that anxiety in yourself. You'll never have that bitch in your blood, essentially, forcing you to not do that thing. Like, if you genuinely really want to practice a skill, talk to a cashier, talk to people who work in customer service, go to places without the intentions of any positive goals or anything. No, not goals. Any positive outcomes or anything. Because when I went to that gig, I genuinely thought things could go wrong. You know, I could fuck up. Just go with an empty mind and just speak to people. You know, go to a bar. I don't know, that's a bit tricky. But just go to events and just find people to talk to. Introduce yourself. Practice small talk. Because once you're able to do this, you are literally opening yourself up to multiple doors of opportunities. And those opportunities could lead you to speaking to girls. So, yeah. That's about it. That's all I have to say.
Nice lecture.
Yeah,
Do you guys
I'm
have
done.
any questions for Warren?
You got any questions, lads?
Feel free to put your hand up in VC text or something.
Let me check VC text. Anyone got any questions? Because I could sit here and like speak about these things.
I don't have a question, but I just want to thank you for doing this today.
That's alright, man. Can you kiss me? No, I'm good. Tips on keeping a conversation running. So there are many times when a conversation is running dry. In my honest opinion, if the conversation is looking like it's going nowhere, but if they brought up some key things that you can talk about, then try and keep the fire going by talking about those topics that they brought up previously. So many we could do a live demo right now if you want. What do you mean? Fucking hell. So at that gig, right, there was this girl who I knew her. I barely knew her. That the whole reason why I went to this gig was because I knew her ex-boyfriend and her, because they came together to this party that I went to, and I wanted to meet up with them because I hadn't seen them for like 2 years. So Warren's got us acting. So this girl, like, I barely knew her essentially at this point. And I was just asking her about certain things and just talking to her. And obviously the conversation would die a lot. So I'd bring it back up. Like, I was just like, oh yeah, what are you doing in university? Oh, you're doing graphic design? Oh wow, I used to go to university to do graphic design, but I dropped out because I didn't like the education. You actually like graphic design? Oh, it's going to be a little bit tough, but, you know, once you get the ball running and you get the designs out there, you do really good. So, what's your favorite niche in graphic design? Is it brand design? Is it posters? Is it that or this? Oh, you like doing posters? What kind of posters do you like? And you get what I'm saying? That's the way you can keep a conversation going. Find a key topic that they've already brought up or something that they know and just keep going and going and going and going until it just stops. Because I'm not going to lie, eventually those conversations will just stop, sadly. And you got to realize when to actually stop. Alright, so let's see another one. That's noteworthy. Bringing up small details people mention in the past always impresses people. Exactly, yeah. Be a good listener. That's another thing. A lot of people don't like it when you're the only one talking, because it shows that you're a fucking egotistical person. Actually, genuinely listen to people. Listen to everything that they say. Because if you can, people actually appreciate that about you. You know? Many times I've had guys or girls who, you know, they would speak to me, then I'd bring up a small little detail that they spoke about in the past, and they're like, oh my god, Warren, like, I didn't think you would remember that. I was like, no, I remember that clearly well. You know? There was many times when I've remembered what my friends did ages ago in high school. Like this, I'm talking about year 7. This was when I was 14 years old. And I would say, hey, remember when you did that thing? And then I would actually fucking talk more about that thing. And they're like, Warren, how the fuck do you remember that? And I'm like, I don't know, I've just got a good memory. But it's that thing of, if you're able to remember that small detail, it actually goes a long way. And it shows that you genuinely do care. So yeah, do that. How to get rid yourself of the notion that nobody is worth your time. You gotta understand that no one really cares, sadly. No one really cares if you're gonna speak to them or not. You know, it's that thing of, you gotta go in with the intentions that you genuinely actually want to talk to them. Because at the end of the day, whether you speak to a person or not, they don't care. Their time wasn't wasted, nor was yours. So you come to this mutual agreement of no one's time was wasted. So really, it's just up to you. You need to actually bring up the courage to speak to someone. And don't do it because, oh, I want to get these cool benefits of speaking to people. Do it because, oh, you know, I actually genuinely want to know this person. And also, people are worth your time. I mean, who the fuck told you no one's worth your time? If anyone said that, tell them to go fuck themselves. If you're thinking that, please get rid of that mindset. Because that's not true. I bet you are worth a lot of time. I bet you have a lot of interesting things about yourself. Every human being is interesting in one way or another. No matter if it's bad things or good things, everyone is interesting one way or another. And that's what I love about interacting with people. Literally, someone can talk about them being a fucking, I don't know, a car engineer. I have fuck all knowledge about car engineering. I don't know what the fuck you do in that, but it sounds interesting. So that's why I'll ask them, hey, could you tell me more about that car engineering? Like, what do you exactly do? You know, and the more and more they talk about it, the more I'm listening. It's like, oh shit, no, that's actually quite interesting. Not gonna lie. I had this guy at the gig, you know, I'm gonna use that gig a lot because it really showed how good I am at socializing with people. He was telling me how he was into 3D modeling. Right, I have no interest in 3D modeling whatsoever. Many times people have brought up the fact that they do 3D modeling. I don't think I'll ever do it. However, it's incredibly interesting to me. And I love it when people talk about the things they do. No, like, 3D modeling's cool. I just don't have an interest in doing it. I don't want to do it myself. Because it looks like a lot of work. But it looks fucking cool. And I was asking him, like, oh shit, like, what kind of 3D modeling do you do? Do you do special effects? Do you do all these things? And he was telling me all the things he was doing. I was like, holy shit, that's actually really fucking cool. Are you getting money? Are you getting paid for it? Are you freelancing? And he was telling me how he's getting, he's doing freelancing work. He's getting, like, up towards £1,000 per work. And I'm like, bro, that's fucking great. And I'm actually happy for you. And I'm happy that you're doing that. And I wish you to continue in your endeavors. So yeah, that's how to answer that question of how to rid yourself of the notion that nobody's worth your time. Where does the conversation go when you just keep leaping from one point to another? Do graphic design? What style do you like it? What have you done lately? That seems like it leads to a path where you're just leaping into an interrogation of point. I can understand what you're saying. It never felt like that to me. It never felt like I was interrogating people. I think I kind of explained it in such a very simplistic way. When I was talking about the graphic design thing, it's more like a natural conversation, so I'll naturally bring it up. So I'm not constantly leaping from one point to another. Wait, hold on, I need to cough again. So like, when I was talking to this girl, and she was talking to me about graphic design and everything, nah, thanks, man. It's almost over. The flu's starting to go away. So, I remember when I was speaking to this girl, she was talking about graphic design, you know, I would actually let her speak. And then and this is a key thing, you need to have the social awareness of when a person stops speaking, so that you can bring up another point, and you can interject with your own stuff. So I'm not constantly going like, oh, do you do graphic design? What style? Do you like it? Blah, blah, blah. Because it feels fucking like you're attacking that person, right? No. It's more like, you know, I'll be like, oh, so you're studying graphic design? They'll tell me, yeah, I've been studying it for like, you know, a year or two, and I'm starting to like it. You know, I'm getting good grades on my projects and everything, you know, that kind of stuff. Okay, then what kind of projects do you do with graphic design? Oh, so, you know, I like did this one really cool project, and it was really doing well, and I really liked it. And, you know, I did this and that. Oh shit, yeah, I did that kind of project as well. I actually quite enjoyed it. It did implement, niches of brand design and all that kind of stuff, and it's pretty cool. Yeah, no, that's what I like. So what kind of niches are you into? What kind of styles do you like doing in graphic design, since you're doing graphic design quite a lot? Oh, so I do this, and I really enjoy that, and you kind of get the point. You want it to be in an actual flowing kind of way. You don't want it to be like a genuine interrogation. You need to be socially aware to be able to interject those points in, because that's the only way you can keep a conversation running. And that's the only way you can make the conversation quite flowing and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. What's another question? When he said something before you ask another thing, you should react to it and add. Yeah, no, definitely. What that person said. Any more questions? Why am I so cute? Fucking hell. It's so fucking weird because you're younger than me. Fucking hell. I want to laugh so bad, but I've got such a cough, I'll start going into like a violent cough. How do you know a girl is flirting with you? That one is difficult. Hold on, I need to cough. Right. How do you know if a girl's flirting with you? I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit of a retard when it comes to this shit. One of the key things I've noticed, and this was when I was like really going to the gym, is if they're noticeably touching you. So like a girl kept touching my shoulder, and I was like, that's a bit weird, don't you think? And she kept touching my shoulder a bunch of times, and I didn't understand why she was doing that. But when I went to bed, and I was like literally just laying, I was like, holy shit, that bitch was totally fucking flirting with me. She was feeding my shoulder. So it's just a specific situation, but if they say things in a very, in a sexual manner, I would say, because I was going to say a flirtatious manner, but you don't even know what that means. So let's say they say something quite, because what flirting is just, they're saying something quirky and fun that they normally wouldn't do to just a random guy, you know? And if she's making constant eye contact with you as well, and here's another thing, something that I constantly find myself doing, I tend to keep talking about myself, and that's something you never fucking do with a girl. You want to make sure you keep the conversation about her, because you want to get to know more about her. And when she's doing that, you want to make sure you actually listen. And then when she, you know, when you're talking to her, when she's talking to you, she's like keeping constant eye contact. Or if she's being playful with you, she's like playingly messing around with you in the conversation. I've had some girls who like, would hit me randomly. Like obviously it wouldn't hurt. That's another way of flirting. Another one, there's this, here's a story about this. So there was these two girls, right? They're like really good friends with each other. They're like best friends. I wanted to ask out this one girl, and her best friend essentially snitched on me. And I was like, okay, wow, that's great. But I didn't hold any grudge against her. But when I invited her to do a photo shoot for this zine that I wanted to make, I remember going to the forest with her and we were just talking for a long amount of time, right? Which I don't do with most people, right? And I remember she kept asking me questions like, why did I like her best friend? You know, she kept asking me what I liked and everything. And that's when it hit me. She fucking likes me. She's flirting with me. You know? But at the time I wasn't interested in her. So I didn't really take it any further. So I've noticed a lot of girls some girls will fucking like straight up like bully you a little bit. Like I had this one girl who kept just making fun of me constantly. And I was like, oh, that's a bit weird, you know? Well, not even my friends make fun of me as this much. Then like literally the next few days, she started flirting with me. And she was just being like literal being forward with the things she wants me to do to her, essentially. So when it comes to that, how do you even know if a girl's flirting? It's a lot of things you need to look out for. But the thing is, you're gonna stress yourself if you're gonna look out for these things. So actually let it naturally flow. And if she does these things, you can kind of slowly figure out that she's flirting with you. Hopefully that helped you, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit inexperienced with girls flirting with me. So yeah, let's see. How do you distinguish that from her just being nice? Now, here's another thing that a lot of young people have gone through, and I'm not gonna lie, boys, I've been through the fucking same thing. You know, I've associated every girl who was nice with me as, oh my god, she fucking loves me. She wants to be with me, cause she's so nice to me, bro. This is fucking fantastic. She's obviously into me, bro. You know?
Yeah, she was. She wanted your winner.
Oh man, it's a difficult one. When a girl's just being nice to you, if she's not being forward with you, if she's not actually flirting with you, if she's just acting like another human being, she just wants to be your friend, or she just wants to be nice to you, you know? Just because a girl is acting nice does not necessarily mean she wants your dick, or she wants to be with you. Sadly, that's not how this world works. The way I've kind of had to learn if a girl's just being straight up nice to you is if they're not really being forward with a lot of things, you know, like they're just being friendly and just talking to you in the normal way. Like, here's another thing, her tone of voice, because I've seen this so many times when a girl is talking to a guy that she's interested in. Oh, fucking hell. Her tone of voice will change up for some reason to make her seem more vulnerable to him. And if she's not doing that with you, if she speaks to you in a normal way, then, you know, she's just being nice to you and just being, like, friendly with you, essentially. And I've had many girls who are like that. And it's just how it is. That's the way you're able to distinguish if a girl's just being nice to you. So yeah, I think that's the way it would be. Let's see. When someone is down, what would you say to them that is different to the things that other people say? Like, most people say, can I do anything for you? Which I found that some people don't like when others say that. Yes! Yeah, no, definitely. There are so many times when a person is actually genuinely down, and they say some of the most generic advice, generic shit like, I'm always there for you, bro. You know, my shoulder's there to cry on and everything, bro. I'm there for you, bro. You know, that sort of thing. It's like, it's just so generic these days. I think when someone is genuinely down, do remind them that you are there for them. You know, or ask them, how is their day? Are they feeling good? Are you alright? Just ask things that not a lot of people would ask them. Because I know when I had depressive friends, or friends that were, you know, questioning their sexuality and they got depressed over that, I would just ask them, are you alright? Are you feeling okay? How are you feeling right now? Like, right now specifically, how are you feeling? And then when they tell you how they're feeling, don't be like, oh man, oh no, I can understand that. Is there anything I can do for you? No, don't do that. Ask them, why do you feel like that? You know? Actually ask questions about that. You want to make sure that you question their emotions so that they're able to actually analyze their own emotions and then be able to tell you why they feel in such a certain way. And if they tell you, and just listen, like, just say like, hey man, just talk your shit, like, just tell me how, like, why are you feeling bad or anything like that. Just listen. Literally just stay silent, listen, let them vent. That sort of thing. Because it's really good to just let people vent for some time. The amount of hours I've had a person vent to me on Discord and in real life, holy shit, like, I could buy a fucking car with that. Because it's, like, I think something that separates me from other people is, I don't care who it is. If someone's going through some shit, I understand how it feels when that person doesn't get support. Because I didn't get support for the longest time when I was going through some shit. All of my friends did not care about the way I felt and everything. I mean, I'm not friends with them at the moment, but they never cared about how I felt, if I was sad or not, you know? They cared about playing video games, and they made fun of me for getting in my feelings. So when a person is genuinely sad, I genuinely like, hey man, just talk to me. Just tell me what's going on. And I'll just stay silent. And I'll hear you out. That sort of thing. Just sit there. Listen to them. Because when they vent, you know, it's like they're getting that frustration out fully. And if they ask questions, like, you know, answer them. And then empathize or sympathize whenever you can. Because I think that's the most important thing about human interaction. Just listening to them. And just, you know, asking them, why do they feel like that? You know, how are they actually feeling at that very moment? You know? Because I feel like the most generic things, like, can I do anything for you? If there's anything I could do for you, hit me up, bro. You know, I'm always there for you. You know, and they actually hit you up and like, I mean, I've had this many times. I've had loads of friends who say, oh yeah, hit me up, I'm always there for you. And I do, and they just don't fucking respond. You know? There's a difference between someone saying shit like that to look good, and the difference between someone who actually genuinely cares. And it shows. So I think that's how I would answer that question. So alright, let's see. What's another question? Let's see. Let me go past the horny posting. Is it bad to be too available with a girl you're talking to? Like seeing her weekly or more? This is something I've always fucking hated. This is something I genuinely do not like when it comes to dating as a whole. This whole strategy of, should I cut down the amount of times I speak to her, bro? I feel like she thinks I'm clingy, bro. Or something like that. If you like the person and you want to talk to them, fucking go talk to them. Why the fuck do you have to listen to these strategies and these things about you should not speak to her this amount of times? Like, obviously don't fucking be a weirdo and keep wanting to speak to them like every fucking minute or every hour, right? But if you're seeing her weekly, that's fine. Hell, like, the girls I liked, I spoke to them daily, you know? And they didn't seem to care that I spoke to them daily. It's not a bad thing to speak to the person you like speaking to. That's human beings as a whole. We like seeing the same people we like seeing on a daily basis. And we like talking to the people we like talking to on a daily basis. If you're doing it weekly, that's pretty good. But if you want to speak to them more, just speak to them more. Because the thing is with dating is, you can't strategize these things. Because this is emotions we're fucking talking about. You can't fucking strategize emotions. If you got strong emotions for this one person, you're not being too available. You're not being too fucking needy or clingy. You are just being you. That is your emotions and you are expressing them. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that person feels like you're just being too clingy, fuck them. Because, you know, they don't really reciprocate that fucking emotion. And, you know, that's why I'm like, just fuck them. Don't give a shit about them. Move on to find another person who respects you for who you are. Because I've seen so many guys who are like my friend, for an example, he was telling me how you shouldn't text a girl, you know, after 3 days or something. So just some dumb shit. And I'm like, why? Why would you do this? If you like someone, speak to them on a more daily basis. Like, I fucking hate this idea of you need these strategies to be able to maximize your opportunity or something. Like, I don't know. I think it's dumb because we're talking about interacting with a human being. We're not talking about fucking equations to this shit or fucking trying to do the most optimal thing to be able to speak to them. But yeah, that's how I would answer that question. You're not too available, in my opinion. You're just expressing your emotions. And I think that's pretty fucking cool that you're doing that. If you genuinely like that person, keep talking to that person. Don't restrict yourself, ever, whatsoever. You are doing yourself a disservice by restricting yourself. You are hurting yourself by doing this. Speak to them. Don't do it constantly, like, you know, every hour or every minute or whatever. Obviously, that's weird. But I just speak to them, nonetheless. Yeah. That's how I would answer that question.
Want me to answer that?
Yeah.
Like, be like continuous through the start of it. Just like be like, it's okay. Just be funny, you know. Then like when you go out first time, like do not text first. Like make sure you did amazing job, and then don't text first. So yeah.
Yeah.
And after that, you can continue like nicely and clean. If you don't text like 3 to 7 days after that, you're gonna make her think that you're playing games, and she will do the same. So you fucked up.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't do that. They can definitely tell you're playing games. Like I've seen many times my friends are like, "Oh my god, she isn't interested in me because she felt like I was not speak to her that much, even though I clearly liked it." It was like, well, bro, you fucked up.
Yeah. Be open and tell your thing. It's another human being.
Exactly.
But you got to be honest. Don't be a Jeffrey.
Yeah.
You got to learn that. That's only can be learned like through the 10 relationships you fucked up in. Like 50, 51, you'll be like your marriage one. So yeah. Just grind.
Literally, yeah. Next question. When in a group with 2 or more people, how do you keep up any group conversations without being awkward and quiet? There are too many times where I've actually felt like I was the awkward person in that conversation. I would say just literally sit there and wait for your chance to interject, because it's a thing of you're not always going to be able to actually properly speak in that group.
Can someone give me like a proper situation, like about what that group talks about, and so we can actually discuss how you can jump in and actually be aware of the situation and actually talk to them.
Yeah.
Can someone give me the idea of how, like, what that conversation will be?
Like Kuso, you asked that question. You want to elaborate further?
For example, you just sit in the back, you wait, you smile. That's most important. Like you smile and just say, "Yeah, that's amazing. That's funny. That's wow. You're such a cool guy." Something like that. So
It's just that sort of thing. Like let's say I'm in a group of friends, which I'm always when I'm out. If there's times I need to be quiet, I just be quiet. But if there's times where I can actually jump in, I will jump in. Like, for an example, people start talking about taking drugs and doing all that sort of stuff, and I'm kind of straight edge, so I just kind of stay out of the conversation. But then when they start talking about art and their favorite artists to listen to and rap and all that kind of stuff, that's when I saw my opportunity to drop in.
Yeah.
Just smile and just be quiet and just, like, show that you're enjoying their time. Because if you show that you're being awkward, they can tell you're being awkward. But being quiet, there's nothing wrong with being quiet.
There is one extremely important thing which you actually didn't said. So do not validate your friends too much. Like have your status of different things and opinions, and like go with them. Like if they're talking about like some shit, come do this and this with us. Like just drugs, for example, just like skip. So yeah, just tell them I don't do that shit. You can do it.
Yeah.
Like you can even offer to go with them and actually take care of them, which will be much funnier for you without using anything.
Literally. That's how it should be. Yeah. Any more questions? Or is that
I have one question.
Yeah?
Does anyone here knows C language programming? Like, I know it's out of team, but like, I need to ask. All Jeffries, nobody's learning programming. Damn. Come on, Jeffries.
And I think that's another topic for
Bro, no
another day.
Jeffries in here, bro.
Huh?
It's good.
We all have a Jeffrey role in the roles, so you can always go back to Jeffrey. I guess.
You can ask that question another time, because there's someone else who's got a question.
Nobody answered, so yeah, let's go to that question.
Alright. Alright. Guys, this is kind of cringe question, probably, but How do I get women to view me in a sexual manner? Like, I want hot women to look at me and think, damn, he can fuck the shit out of me. Just bump your sexual value market. Oh, is that it? It's like, yeah, sexual value market. SMV.
Can I give him advice? Like,
Um,
you gotta do 3 things in order to actually attract higher status of women. So basically, Hamza talked about that in some video, I guess, but like I have my shorter description of it. Just like be funny, be the gym guy, like go take care of yourself, and have an actual interesting life. So yeah, that's all.
Literally, just have a good body. So you got to go to the gym, eat healthy. Whether you're bulking or cutting, depending on what stage you are at right now. Have a good look to yourself. Well, not totally jacked. Like, I can't remember exactly the body fat percentage that women like, but, you know, women, when it comes to, like, working out, bruh, women find anorexic guys with fucking 6-packs to be hot. I'm not even fucking joking. Because they got that weird, I don't know, I would say, yeah, something around that, yeah, like 12% fat percentage. And you don't have to be 6 foot 6 fat. I like that. Yeah, so you gotta actually have a good body, like genuinely, because the reason why you have a good body is because it shows that you actually take care of yourself. Like, for an example, when I see a fat person, like, I'm fat myself, but I'm actually trying to do something with myself. But when I see fat people who just don't want to exercise whatsoever, I don't feel like, I don't have any hate towards them. I just feel like, if only you knew the amount of, potential you genuinely have, you would actually go ahead and do it. And when a girl sees you actually work out, it's just this weird thing of, they like that you actually take care of yourself, because it shows that you actually genuinely care, you know? So, you know, get fit. The other thing is style. I don't know what you like, but you kind of need to learn how to actually, like, dress yourself. Find clothes that you like. Because if you can find a style for yourself, girls will like that. Get yourself a haircut. If you got a beard or whatever, get a good, like, beard, essentially. Have a genuine character. So this whole topic of me talking about, fucking hell. This whole topic about, you know, small talk and all that kind of stuff, making sure that your character can actually be given off and all that kind of stuff. Like, if you're able to do that, people actually see your character. So be able to do that. And I think that's literally it. Just, you know, fucking go to the gym, hit the gym, fucking wear good clothes, have a good style to yourself, be a good person, and people will just genuinely like you. And girls will find you attractive. You know, they will see you in that sexual manner. That's what I can say. Yeah. Any other question? Let's see. How do you sexualize the conversation? I always find this so funny, because I never really do sexualize a conversation with a girl. But if they do it themselves first, that's when I start to really go into it. Like, despite the way I'm speaking, you probably think I'm like a fucking, you know, a good Christian British boy or something like that. I'm a fucking sexual deviant. I'm a fucking, like, horny demon, essentially. So, when it comes to speak to them sexually, you know, I'll say some weird shit to them, and they like it that I'm saying the weird shit. And demon time, yeah. Yeah, pretty much. So let me bring an example. So this one girl, I remember, go into the specifics, please.
What specifics?
People
No,
might
no,
know,
no.
Warren. People don't know. What they want.
Alright. So when I speak to this one girl, right? Like, I'm just gonna get out there. Obviously, you know me, I'm black, and this girl's white. So obviously that whole thing of BBC comes. Fuck's sake. Ugh. How big is your... What the fuck, man? So obviously, when it came to this conversation with this girl, she brought it up and everything, and I played into it, you know, because I actually genuinely liked her, and I would say some weird shit, like, for an example, this one time she was talking about how, oh yeah, she's gonna get a vaccine soon and everything, and she's scared. And I was like, oh, if you get scared, you know, I can give you some of my blood because I've already had both the vaccines. Then she was like, oh yeah, no, that would be great, Warren. I would love that. Then I was like, then you can boast about how then you can say that you had a Negro in you. And then she fucking started going wild, started laughing. And then we kept sexualizing this situation, the fucking topic a bunch of times, and I was like, are you saying you don't want me in you? You don't want all 7 inches in you? And she kept just fucking laughing and laughing, and she was telling me to stop, and I kept going and going and going. So yeah. Fuck's sake. Yeah, so that's a cat.
It's like a bridge, dude.
Oh man.
You're connecting your USB.
So yeah, yeah. Fuck me, man. It's cold. I wish I didn't have it. But yeah, it's that thing of, you gotta actually be able to. Did I smash?
Keep pass.
I'm gonna keep that shit a secret. Fuck you all. I'm not fucking revealing a lot of stuff. But I didn't say I did. I didn't say I did. Did I now?
You did.
No, let's.
She called him daddy.
But yeah, no, it's that thing of, you gotta be able to notice when she's being a little bit sexual in that situation, or you gotta initiate yourself, you know, just like how I did, in a subtle way. Then you keep going and going and going and going, you know, that sort of thing. When it comes to sexual conversations, you know, I think for me, once you give me the go ahead that it's alright, then that's when I keep going in. And that's when I fucking, like, be a real fucking, like, the shit I just said to you guys is not, it's just a fraction of the freak shit I've said to girls in the past. Alright? And I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty fucking sick. Yeah. So, yeah. Any other questions?
Let's move on. He probably broke her back.
Does height matter? How old am I? I'm 20. I'm gonna be honest with you. No. Like, maybe if you're a fucking dwarf, then yes. If you are a literal dwarf, yes, it will matter. But, you're 6'3" and you feel like that's not. To someone who's like fucking 5'5" or 5'6", they're like a fucking god. You are like a god to them. Like, bro, height does not matter at all. I really hate this notion of height is such a big thing, right? Because when let me tell you, when I was this year, right, I was 5'8". And my doctors actually diagnosed me with, what was it? It's basically where my legs are actually, bowed legs? No, not bowed legs. Knock knees. There we fucking go. Knock knees, right? So I was 5'8", and I had knock knees. So I got, surgery to actually correct those. and now I'm 5'10". And I notice no difference in the way people treat me, the way girls treat me. I'm just taller than most people, right? So, really...
Yeah, but like, do you consider the thing that they actually look at you as a protector? So like, if you're bigger, it's a plus, but they don't really need... If you're like taller than them, then it's okay.
Yeah, it's literally,
So,
if you are like 5'3", find a girl who's shorter than you. That's literally the answer to the question. Like, if you are that, I don't understand why a lot of people feel like it's the end of the world if you are like short. And some people are like straight up like 5'7", 5'8", 5'9", and they feel like they're short. You're fucking not short. You are taller than most girls. Alright? Girls are not fucking Amazonians up in this bitch. Like, every guy who I speak to about the height and everything, I'll talk about girls as if they're fucking Amazonians, like 6'5", dummy mommies, who are fucking out there to like, dominate you or anything. Like, no, that's not the case. It does matter, but to a certain extent, it doesn't, in my opinion. Like, I've got friends who are like 5'5", and they're with a girl who's like 5'6", 5'7", and they genuinely are in love. So no, height doesn't matter. I've seen so many examples where the girl was taller than the guy, but they're in love. It does not matter. There's no such thing as height being a thing. And what do you mean by height? What could be considered tall? I mean, I think you said you're 6'3", so you are tall. You are very tall. The guy who's like, well, sorry about that. You are very tall. Like, I mean, there are some vain girls who are like 6 foot is the cutoff. But here's another thing. Girls do not fucking know height. They see you and they just assume what height you are. They are dumb as fuck. Most people are dumb as fuck when it comes to height. So, yeah. See you, Syntax. So, yeah. Really, with this whole height thing, it doesn't really matter. It really does not fucking matter. Alright? As long as you're not a fucking dwarf, you are good. You are good. Like, you are fine. So, to answer your height question, no, not really. If you're a dwarf, then yeah, it does matter. But if you're not a dwarf, it's not a problem.
Explain people what dwarf is.
So dwarf is an actual genuine, like, medical term to describe someone who's like,
fat,
who's like
retarded?
4 foot, I can't remember. Let me search up. Dwarf.
Yeah, people are sending it into
Height.
these chats, so no need for that.
So if you're like 4'10",
yeah.
If you're straight up 4'10", 4'9", you are a dwarf, right? It's a genuine medical term called dwarfism. If damn 1 inch off. If you are that height, then, well, you're gonna have a hard time with life in general, you know? Most of your organs are fucked. Your limbs are fucked. Everything's fucked, right? But it doesn't really matter that much. So, yeah, let me see some other questions. Yeah. How old are you? Have you ever sent a girl to the ER? No, shut the fuck up. Let's see. Like saying, why are you comparing yourself? Yeah, don't compare yourself to people. Literally, like, why does that matter? Does a wide frame matter? I'm a bit confused by that question. Small, I mean, if you mean frame as in, if you mean frame as in like physical, then a wider frame is better. Like, girls like that V shape in a man, essentially. So yeah, like, if you want a wide frame, yeah, the girls like that shit. They fucking cream over that shit. I have large child-bearing hips. How do I expand my shoulders to offset? These sounds like gym questions, so I can't help you out there, bro. Let's see what's some other questions. How important is chin? I mean, again, this is a situation of if you're not a chinlet, and what I mean by a chinlet is if your chin is merging with your neck, right? If you're that, you're gonna have a hard time. If you're not that, then you're fine. You're fine. Let's see. Is that all the questions? Is that everything? I mean, get your questions out now if you want to ask some questions. But if that's everything, then we can stop this shit. Can I get something else out? I mean, yeah, sure. $5'11", 6 foot. That is how society view it. Thoughts on Drake's album. I haven't listened to Certified Lover Boy, to be honest. I don't like the cover whatsoever. That cover's fucking trash. I have heard that Donda is better than Certified Lover Boy, and to be honest, I don't really listen to Drake to be honest. Sadly. You single, bro? Yes, currently. And it's gonna stay that way for quite some time until I become successful. When's the mixtape coming out? I don't know. Fuck's sake, still. Put it out. Is that all the questions? Because we could just go back to just talking. I have a good idea. You should have a convo with someone here while applying everything you just told us about. I mean, yeah, sure. I have a convo with a new person all the fucking time. And just kind of speak to them. So it's alright, but I think it'll be a little bit weird because it's not natural. It's gonna be a bit... It's not natural, so it's gonna be a bit weird for me to try and navigate through the situation, the conversation. So yeah, doesn't have to be awkward. It won't be awkward. It's just normal. I mean, your veins are popping. But yeah, no, everyone could just unmute themselves. We can have like a conversation, whatever. Doesn't matter. I don't care who. Someone can have a conversation with me. Nominate someone. Let me see. Trying to think who would I don't fucking know. We should all unmute at the same time. That would be chaos. Let me see who's been talking the most. I'm gonna pick WXLL.
Yo, that's good.
Well, good, bro. How you doing?
I had a feeling you were gonna pick me like the whole time. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, but
yeah, I'm good, bro.
You good? I'm good. What were you doing today? Like, did you do anything fun?
To be honest, my routine recently is just like generic. So I'm working from home, so I just wake up early, meditate. I'm trying to read like the book Atomic Habits.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just doing like a chapter every day. Then work out, my work from home stuff, and then just doing some like freelance graphic design bits as a side income. And that's pretty much my day for like the past couple months. So.
Damn, I wish I could have that life, work from home, be able to go to the gym or whatever, just prioritizing those kind of things.
I can't lie. It's like, so I'm lucky that I can still stay with my dad right now. I mean, I could move out, but the only benefit right now is, I guess, to bring girls back, but I want to stay single for a while I like build up money, I guess.
Oh yeah,
Invest,
definitely.
shit like that. So
Yeah, nah. So
Yeah.
what? So you were saying graphic design's a side business. So what are you doing as a way to make money at home then? Like the main thing?
Oh, as in my work from home job.
Yeah.
I was just doing like website analysis and testing, pretty much, just like part time. It's nothing like exciting. I mean, I've already finished uni and everything, but it was like when I finished uni, I did like computer science and game design, right?
Yeah.
And I realized that I hated the idea of sitting in front of a computer for like 9 to 5 every day. So it kind of fucked me off a bit because I'm like, I want to find some other way to make money so I don't need to commute in to an office, work all day and shit, because my day is literally just gone when I was working in an office.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. When I used to work for a company that created EPO systems, so you know, like those shopping systems where, like, at bars or whatever, where they put in like, oh, you ordered a beer, all right, we're gonna go to our system, put in beer, this costs this, and put it through the payment. Yeah, I used to be the people who sold those systems to companies and try and essentially get them to buy them from the company. And I was pretty fucking good at it.
So
but
it's more like a sales kind of job,
yeah,
or...
just like sales company, except I wasn't doing the sales thing at all. It was more like I was actually helping people set them up and teach them how to use computer skills and everything. So I hated that life. I hated coming into the office, speaking to the same people I fucking didn't want to see. And I really wanted to work from home, so like, no, I understand what you mean by...
Yeah, working from home is so much better, man.
Yeah.
It really is. Especially since when I work out, I work out in the front room, basically, so just like a dip station and pull-up bar. So, I don't need to go to the gym, so the time I have free, I can just go on walks and stuff, and I can see friends occasionally.
Oh man, I would fucking love to do that. Like,
yeah, it's pretty comfy right now, I can't lie, yeah.
Because the way I would like plan out my life, right, is if I had the ability to do it, just freelance graphic design. So I would wake up, shower, all that kind of shit, then come to my PC, do my work for a certain amount of hours, then dedicate my time to going to the gym, walking in the forest, you know, cooking my meals or reading or, you know, that sort of stuff. Actually, like, putting my time into self-improvement stuff.
Yeah, is that what you're working towards now? Like, doing graphic design, you know?
Yeah. That's, well, it's not only graphic design, it's like, I want to build a clothing brand and everything, and to be honest, the kind of life I'm trying to go for now is completely different from what I wanted, because what you're essentially saying is you got a comfy lifestyle. Yeah. Whilst me, I want to make a clothing brand. I also want to make music. I essentially want to be a well-known artist.
You want to do like a bit of everything, like creatively, like a bit of everything.
Yeah, creative jack of all trades, pretty much. And the thing is, that requires a lot of work. And I've realized that it requires a lot of work, and you don't get time to be cozy. You know, you gotta be on the ball. So, I think.
I was just gonna say, like, that's really cool that you sound like motivated to do this, because I've always envied people that seem to have, like, you know, they have so many projects in their head that they almost don't have enough time in a day to be working on all these things, you know. Whereas I feel like I'm the opposite, where I'm like, you know, struggle for motivation.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird thing to explain. The way I kind of, for me, it's like I just get a bunch of ideas in my head every single day, and when I'm at work, I'm like, oh, I want to fucking do this. I want to fucking do that. But it's like, obviously, I work like a lot of long hours, and it's like I really want to work from home to be able to facilitate that ability for me to work on my own projects, which is why I'm setting up the clothing business first, so I can get money while sitting on my ass, essentially. So passive income, essentially.
Yeah, that's where it like starts, and then when you can just make money passively, it just opens up so much to just work on whatever you want, pretty much.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I want to do, and I'm trying to work towards that. But it's really difficult because it's like, one, I'm constantly at work, and two, I'm a bit sporadic with the things I want to do. I keep changing. I'm a very energetic person. I'm just, I don't know. It's because like the great thing about being able to think of an idea every single day, like constantly, is that you've got tons. You never run out of things. The worst bit about it is you start to be a bit indecisive with things. You know.
Yeah, it's hard to like commit to one, and then if you work on one for a little bit, you come up with like a new idea, and obviously the new idea is like fresh in your head, and it seems more exciting, and you want to work on that now.
Exactly, yeah. So I'm trying to work towards only doing one thing only.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm trying to so for an example, I'm trying to learn FL Studios, making music. And I'm just working towards that first before I then start to think of, okay, now I want to do this thing. So I've been really forcing myself a lot to do these kind of things.
Would you say it's going well right now?
It's kind of going alright. Like, I've been studying music for a bit. I've been listening to music that I genuinely wouldn't listen to that much. I started looking up producers, like, for an example. I found out about this producer called Jay Dilla. He's, like, regarded as the father of hip-hop. And I've just been listening to his tracks and then looking into in-depth videos of how he's able to come up with his tracks and everything. It's beautiful. And it's given me a much more greater understanding of music than what I initially had. So I think it's going alright. But it can go better.
You're on the upward trajectory, you know, just moving forward every day pretty much. And it's good.
Exactly. Yeah, I know about New Jabs. I knew about New Jabs before the J Dilla. I fucking love New Jabs. Holy shit. I remember watching Samurai Champloo and just like listening to the soundtrack of Samurai Champloo, and holy fuck, man, he's such a genius. He's like the father of lo-fi hip-hop. And fuck, man, I really fucking want that shit. I just really want to be able to produce the same stuff he does as well, because it's so beautiful, man. I've even got the vinyl for the Samurai Champloo soundtrack and everything. But yeah, no, it's really cool that you get to work from home and be able to commit to your self-improvement stuff. And I wish you good luck in your endeavors.
Yeah, thanks, man.
That's it.
If anyone else wants to come on stage.
Anyone else want to talk?
About
anything, really.
Anything, really.
It's just to show how I'm able to just start conversations with people.
Well, I could go on a rant about visceral fat and sumos again, but I'm assuming no one wants to really hear about that again.
I mean, we could just continue off our conversation we had before, like dieting and all that kind of shit.
Dieting, okay.
So like,
so let me start it off then. So I keep on hearing this like assumption that you can just feed yourself whatever and have an aesthetic body and be healthy. It's as long as you eat in a calorie deficit. It's not true at all.
It is not.
You can lose weight, right? But then you're going to gain the enemy. The enemy is visceral fat.
Yeah.
So the fat on the outside of your body is subcutaneous fat, right? That's what we know as the bad fat. Well, this is our general perception of it. It's not the bad fat. I mean, it affects your joints and your bones, but it isn't going to kill you. What's going to kill you is eating visceral fat. And once you eat and your visceral fat gets to a certain amount, it causes like heart attack, stroke, a whole other slew of things. You can look this up. Look up what is worse, subcutaneous fat or visceral fat, and see this.
I think, like, I used to have this thinking when I was younger, when I was like 17, when I started doing the whole calories in, calories out and working out. I used to eat whatever and keep it under my deficit.
As long as you fit the macros and the calories is what they say.
Yeah,
you can do that until your gut is filled with fat because
literally
you're eating sugary, fried, processed food.
It's
this
not only
we see like an epidemic or we see this general trend where skinny people are getting diabetes because they aren't eating in a calorie surplus, but they're eating that food in general.
Yeah,
The food you eat most definitely matters.
It really does.
Oh my
It's
God.
this idea of, like, for an example, right? Let's say you have a McDonald's meal, right? It's got the proteins, it's got everything, but it's got a shit ton of fat and everything. The macros are way out of whack. There's too much carbs, too much fat, and like a little bit of protein, right? Compared to, like, let's say you just have a 5% fat beef burger with some, cut up potatoes you boiled or put in the oven to, roast, and you've got some vegetables. The amount of nutrients you'll get out of those foods is gonna weigh out the amount of nutrients you would have gotten out of a McDonald's meal. Like, I've always said this. Every time I eat McDonald's, I feel like shit, but every time I eat my fucking 420 grams of minced beef and and a chicken breast and all this kind of stuff, I get so much fucking nutrients out of those foods, despite the macros being about the same as a meal from McDonald's. So
no, dude, the macros for McDonald's are gonna be shit.
Oh no, but I'm saying
the
like
calories are gonna be high. Are you saying that the calories that you get from the minced meat would be more beneficial nutrients wise than the calories you would get from McDonald's?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Because the calories are not the same as calories. Essentially, a calories not a calorie. You wanna
there's a difference between calories and calories.
Yeah, which is like you gotta look at it as eating for nutrition. You want to make sure the macros are good. You want to make sure it's not loaded with sugar and all that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, no. You got to make sure you're eating, like, nutritious foods, pretty much.
The food you eat matters, basically. You mean you can get an aesthetic-looking body from eating in a calorie deficit of McDonald's, but are you going to be healthy? No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
That's the sad thing about it, really.
So that's what makes bulking hard. In my perspective.
Oh, no, definitely. Like my fucking.
You have to eat so much, and if you want it to be clean and you want your body to be healthy, then the clean foods you're gonna be eating are gonna be more satiating.
Yeah, like I had a roommate who was trying to bulk, and he did some of the dumbest shit. He bought mass gainer, which has a shit ton of sugar.
Yeah.
He also would drink like a shit ton of protein, whey protein, which is like, I've always told him, you are supplementing protein. You are not replacing a meal with with protein shakes. That's a dumb idea. And I remember he used to just force feed himself a shit ton of chicken breasts, a shit ton of rice, and then drink like a fucking 4 pints of milk, which is a gallon, essentially.
Well, the chicken and the rice wasn't too bad.
It wasn't too bad.
I'll tell you what's something very unhealthy. I did the same thing with the mass gainer, but I filled it up with ice cream because of the calories.
Fucking Jesus.
I was eating ice cream and mass gainer with peanut butter in it twice a day for 700 to 800 calories each.
That's a lot of sugar.
It was adding up to around 70 or 80 grams of sugar.
Fuck.
Which I don't think I've ate over 30 in a month. That is such a bad lifestyle. Whenever you guys are bulking or cutting, make sure you put fuel into your body that's good.
You want actual genuine like
shit. You don't want to put shit food in your body if you want to be healthy.
You want quality foods in your body. I mean, you are what you eat, you know? If you want to collect junk, go ahead. But if you want to collect items of value, then pick the quality foods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Who's Kata? Fucking hell, is he this guy in the chat?
Who?
His name is Kata. His physique is insane. At least that was off topic, but I saw him in the
I saw that,
in the
yeah.
VC text. Dude's got like insane.
Post a pic of yourself. Okay, here.
It's fucking
like
crazy, dude.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyone else? Anyone else want to speak? Have a conversation?
No one?
If,
Come on,
if
dude.
not,
We're in a social interaction
app.
discussion.
I'm on.
Oh man, that's funny.
I'll pick someone. Doesn't matter.
Get Woj up here. Woj is great.
Oh,
Might
Woj
be
is
doing
fucking
something now.
fantastic. Woj, come on. Well, good man.
Yo, calling into the radio show guys. Big fan here. Been listening to the show. Warren, great
Yeah.
broadcast. Been
Thanks,
enjoying
man.
it. Just chilling, playing some chess, trying to strengthen my prefrontal cortex. Did some meditation
Oh,
earlier.
Yeah, dude, got the ice on your balls too?
Not right now. Just
Oh,
taking
not
a
right
break.
now?
I did like probably 3 to 4 hours today, so I don't want to overdo it. And I want to
Yeah.
shout out my boy WXLL. We're both working from home, living similar lifestyles, so gotta recognize
yeah.
the real.
God, I wish that was me.
Yeah,
Gang.
I only got like 30 more minutes of work, and then I'm gonna go swim. So I'm just chilling with you guys.
Hey, nice. So, like, what you been doing today, essentially?
Just my normal routine. Wake up, cold shower, read some books, meditate,
Ah,
gratitude.
nice.
Oh shit! You remember how I was
Journal.
talking to you about Marcus Aurelius and the Meditations book? It came
Mhm.
in today. I'm already
Hey,
reading it,
let's
Woj,
go.
bro. Already reading it.
Oh,
I'm on
yeah.
page. I'm on page 10.
Oh,
I got
man.
mine.
So good.
I've been trying to read that book. It's so difficult for me when it comes to reading.
Yeah, especially that book. The fucking meditation.
Read the intro.
The
It's
language
so-
is so... Oh, man. It just reminds me of Shakespeare in, like, when I was in school and having to analyze that shit. It's like, oh, God.
Well, it's probably translated, right?
It is translated, yeah.
Yeah.
I got the good translation of it, where it's like in modern day language. It's very, very cool.
It's just, I don't know, it's like reading a university text. Like, sure, like, if
Yeah.
I were to put myself through it all the time, I would actually slowly understand it, but it's like, you gotta understand that this is someone who just likes to create stuff and barely reads, so it's like, fuck
Holy
it out,
shit.
it actually hurts my
This
head.
is a long introduction, dude.
It
but,
is.
Wait, what the hell? It's like actually like half the book.
But I was reading a shorter version of Stoicism. It's called Epictetus or something like that. It's like a cheat sheet.
That's a man. That's actually that's like an actual person.
Ah, yeah.
Epictetus was a philosopher, I think. He actually is quoted in this book.
Yeah. I'm gonna stop recording now because, like, I feel like
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
alright.